Now, it is a huge weekend in the English Premier League, and I'm delighted to say that now joining me on the show is the sports broadcaster, Amy Christophers. Amy, welcome to Sportuccino. How are you doing this St. Patrick's Day?
I'm feeling the luck of the Irish.
Feeling the luck of the Irish. Fantastic. Is of course Cheltenham this week. We'll talk a bit about that later on in the programme, but I want to get your predictions for the Premier League this weekend. Just before we start, let's have a look at what are the matches on Saturday. I'll quickly run through them. The early game is West Brom versus Arsenal. We've got Crystal Palace versus Watford. It's Everton taking on Hull. It is the league leaders Chelsea taking on Stoke. Sunderland face Burnley. West Ham are at home to Leicester City. And Bournemouth face Swansea in the late game. Bit of a fixture clash there with the Six Nations England versus Ireland game. I think I'd rather watch that one. In fact, I'm going to watch Leeds versus Brighton. But forget what I've got to say. Amy, we want to get your predictions on this weekend. Let's start from the very beginning. It's a very good place to start. It is, of course, West Brom versus Arsenal. Which way do you think it's going to go?
I think that Arsenal might actually do this one because they really do need the vote of confidence at the moment. So I'm going to go for an away win for Arsenal. Probably 2-1.
2-1.
I'm very fond of a 2-1. I go for a lot of 2-1s. They don't always work out, but it's fine because I do accumulators anyway. So I don't really go for the scores.
So we're going to see a bit of a theme with 2-1. So it'll be interesting to
Probably,
see.
Yeah.
Arsenal have been under a lot of pressure with Arsene Wenger recently.
They definitely have.
Yeah, and they got that big win against Lincoln last week, but you know it's a lot tougher against West Brom. Amy. All right, let's move on. Bit of a London derby next. Crystal Palace versus Watford. What do you think about this game?
Crystal Palace are at home, so I'm going to go. I think that they can do it. I believe in Big Sam, so I'm going to go for a Crystal Palace win.
Believe in.
Controversially, 2-0.
A 2-0 home win. Of course, they got Mamadou Sakho there now, former Liverpool defender. Big Sam is known for keeping those clean sheets. You go all the way back to his Bolton days there. So that sounds a good little prediction for me.
I think Sam really knows how to get the best out of people as well. And that's why I'm so glad that it didn't work out for him in the England job, bless him.
Yeah, it's funny how these things can happen. Gareth Southgate naming his squad yesterday as well, recalling Jermaine Defoe. All right, speaking of...
I'm really pleased about that.
Are you?
Yeah. I think that he should have been in there all the time. You know, he scores goals for fun. And I think Sam definitely got the best out of him when he was at Sunderland. So I think he should have been put back in the squad a long time ago. But I'm glad that he's there now. And hopefully he will prove everyone wrong. And hopefully win us something.
Hopefully. We'll have to see what happens there. Of course, he's always in my brother's dream team and always scores goals. So I'm normally annoyed with Jermaine Defoe right now, but I wouldn't mind him scoring goals for England. And
that'd be quite good.
We've got Everton versus Hull in the next game, Amy. Romelu Lukaku has been absolutely on fire recently. We're going to see more goals there. What do you think the score will be?
Well, so you say that, but after everything that's been happening this week with him not re-signing, then, you know, there could be a little bit of shift in the dressing room, don't you think?
Yeah, completely.
There might be a bit of tension. Or he might go and score loads of goals and be like, you know, maybe you need to give me some more money to stay here. Who knows? But I'm still going to go for an Everton win. I feel quite confident that they can do it at home.
What do you think the score will be, Amy?
Ooh. I really don't want to say 2-1. I'm trying to think of anything else. And the annoying thing is I have to do my Premier League preview straight after this. So whatever I've said to you, I'm going to have to remember to put in my YouTube video. And I've got a memory like a sieve. So I'm going to go 1-0.
Well, good little plug there for your YouTube video. We'll talk about all of that at the end. Nothing like a bit of selfless promotion, albeit where is my Sportuccino mug right now? Anyway, it's your team, it's Chelsea. We see the ball behind you, the Chelsea football with a very shiny pair of football boots there. We'll talk about that a bit later as well. But Chelsea versus Stoke. No one likes going to play at Stoke, albeit they're not the same tough team to go and face there.
But I mean, normally us Chelsea fans don't like going to Stoke. We do say it is like the worst away game, one of them. But I think we're on fire at the moment. We're still in the FA Cup. I think we're going to do the double this year. So I don't think we have anything to fear going to Stoke. I think we'll easily walk away with a win.
Let's just quickly talk about Chelsea. What have you made of them this season? What do you think has made them so good?
Ooh, I don't want to be controversial, um, but obviously there was, well, who knows what went on last season with Jose Mourinho, but there was obviously some kind of tension in the dressing room, shall we say. So I think that was probably just our problem. People just didn't want to play for Mourinho anymore, and I think Conte has just come in, saved the days, brought this new lease of life into the team, and I'm just loving it, absolutely loving it. He is the godfather, and he's going to win us the double.
Bit like Carlo Ancelotti did all those years ago. Yeah, they seem to really.
It's the Italians.
It is the Italians. We had the sports journalist Federico Farcameni on the show on Monday, in fact, and he was saying there just seems to be a bit of a Chelsea-Italy loving, all the way going back to Zola and Vialli. So it's good to see Conte doing well at Chelsea. We didn't get a score there, Amy. Stoke-Chelsea, did we?
No. I think it probably might be a 2-1, actually.
2-1 to Chelsea.
Yeah.
Okay, great stuff. Let's move on to a game which, I'll be honest, I've no interest in watching at all. Sunderland versus Burnley. Doesn't excite me at all, but would it excite you?
Doesn't excite me either, Richard. I'll be honest.
Would it excite you for a bet, though? What would your prediction be?
If I'm doing my accumulator, I normally avoid games like that. I'll get onto my accumulators in a bit, though. But yeah, I would normally avoid games like that where, it could go either way, really. It could even be a 0-0 draw. I think it quite possibly could be a 0-0 draw.
So not only are we not looking forward to it, we don't think it would be exciting either way. It's just going to be a draw.
Just doesn't thrill me at all. So for me, I can't even be bothered to think about it. 0-0.
Well, it hasn't been a happy time for the Hammers at the Olympic Park. They've done a bit better recently. They face Leicester City. It's West Ham versus Leicester on Saturday. Of course, Leicester now through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Leicester, they can't win away. So what's going to happen here, Amy?
I've been thinking about this one a lot, and I do think that West Ham will take it. Also, because I just think now Leicester is so focused on the Champions League. I think they're just going to put all their energy into that. They know they haven't got any chance of winning again this year the title, so I think they're just going to plough on through and just go for the Champions League. So, yeah, I think it will probably be 2-0 West Ham.
Okay, good predictions there. One final one on Saturday. It is Bournemouth versus Swansea.
Wow, this one, I think Bournemouth are very strong at the moment, and I think it could even be possibly 3-2.
Ooh, that sounds a fun game.
I think it'll be a good game.
Yeah, Swansea have been doing better under Paul Clement as well. All right, stay right there, Amy. Don't go anywhere. We're just going to have a look at what other games are on Sunday. Three matches, of course, to round out the 10. It's Middlesbrough versus Manchester United. Of course, Middlesbrough sacked Aitor Karanka on Thursday. Steve Agnew will be in temporary charge for that game at the Riverside against the United team, which went through against Rostov in the Europa League. And of course, we're knocked out the FA Cup by Amy's Chelsea. It's Spurs versus Southampton. They can't stop scoring, albeit they do have injury problems with Harry Kane. And it's Manchester City against Liverpool. City being knocked out of the Champions League this week. Liverpool getting back to winning ways last week against Burnley. So Amy, 3 games there, starting with Middlesbrough versus Manchester United. Very often when a team changes the manager, they end up winning. But is that going to be the case against Manchester United?
I think Manchester United are going to have a lot to prove. Obviously, they've had quite a lot of stick by being, kicked out from the FA Cup from us. So I think they're going to have a lot to prove. Jose Mourinho's definitely got to be in his bonnet. I've seen that he was complaining this morning about the time of the game and moaning that they're not going to get a lie-in and because it's a away game and things. So he's definitely not happy. So, that could go either way. Because of his mood, it could either make them lose the game or he'll be pushing really hard at them to win. So I'm going to go for a win. I'm going to go probably 1-0.
1-0 to Manchester.
But then I do think because Middlesbrough obviously they're going to have someone else in charge, so I think that they'll try and prove themselves. So I think, no, actually, I'm going to go 1-1.
Going to go 1-1. Okay.
No, 2-1. I don't know. I'm so indecisive. I literally can't predict scores because I just end up changing it all the time.
Okay, well that's the beauty of in-game betting, isn't it? You can change your mind, you can adjust these things.
Cash out.
So did we decide 1-1 there?
But I still think that Man United are going to win.
Okay, so
I'm going to go 2-1 Man United.
We'll go with the numbers which you like the most. The 2-1 win for Manchester United. Just quickly, you mentioned Mourinho there. You mentioned that he can be a little bit moody. And there was this whole thing on Monday when they lost in that game in the FA Cup of him putting up 3 fingers towards the Chelsea fans and him saying Judas is still number 1. Obviously, you being a Chelsea fan, do you love him or do you not have any feelings towards him anymore?
I'll always love Jose for what he's done for Chelsea. And, he used to be like my crush growing up as a teenager. So he's always got a little place in my heart. But I honestly think that Conte's going to be the new Mourinho, and not in the sense of the moodiness and attitude and things like that. But for what he's done for us, and Jose was the special one, but I'm going more along the lines of Conte is the chosen one.
Conte.
I think he's going to make as much history for us as Jose Mourinho has, but I can never hold anything against Mourinho because of what he's done for us, and I'll always have love for him. I'm just so gutted that he went to Manchester United because I literally hate Manchester United. I cried my eyes out when that happened.
Oh dear, Amy. Okay, we've got 2 more games. Let's get through them quickly because we're running out of time with you. It's Tottenham versus Southampton. Quick score prediction there.
Spurs 3-1.
To Spurs?
Yeah.
Okay, 3-1 to Spurs. And the big game on Sunday, the biggest game of the weekend, I think, is Manchester City versus Liverpool.
I think with Liverpool, they actually play really well against the top 6. They're pretty rubbish against the lower end clubs, but when it comes to the top 6, they actually do stand their ground. And Manchester City aren't that great defensively at the moment, and Liverpool definitely take advantage of teams that aren't very good defensively. So I think this has got a Liverpool win. 2-1 or 3-1.
2-1 or 3-1. You said 3 first. Let's go with 3-1 there because okay. I know you love your 2.
You're going to have to text me and tell me what I've said so I can put it in my video because I'm going to totally forget.
I'm going to have to go through and jot them all down, and then I'm going to put bets on, and then I'm going to see if you've helped me win here, Amy. Well, it's been so good to get all your predictions on the show, Amy. Let's just talk a little bit about you. You're obviously a sports broadcaster. You clearly know your stuff. You've been doing some stuff with Cheltenham this week as well. What have you got in the pipeline at the moment?
So at the moment, I'm a columnist for Front Magazine, and I'm doing a bit of freelance writing. So I've been doing content writing for Yahoo Sport and doing their Chelsea blog and things. I went in and did a few Facebook Lives with them. At the moment, I'm concentrating more on my writing, but I am looking at getting back into my presenting. But at the moment, everything just seems to be writing work that keeps coming up. So yeah, I'm just whatever comes at me. I'm just just doing it really.
You're ready.
Just keeping myself out of trouble.
It's always the best thing to be doing, keeping yourself out of trouble. Now, I wouldn't be any journalist if I didn't ask you this question, because you mentioned writing. Now, I hear rumours about some kind of book. What can you tell me about this, Amy?
Who told you that?
Ear to the ground.
I can't actually say too much about that, but I am hoping to be bringing out a book this sort of like this time next year, really.
Okay. Well.
But it's gonna be like an advice book.
Oh, interesting. Well, I won't push
for
you
sports
further.
Fans.
I won't try and get too much more information, because when
anyone can read it though. It'll be quite light-hearted and quite interesting.
Fantastic.
A different insight into things.
Well, I hope when the book's out, you'll come on Sportuccino and you'll tell us all about it, and we'll give it a great big plug on the show.
Of course I will.
And two more. One more quick thing is, you've also been a referee before, right?
Yes, I moved back home to Cornwall to do my journalism studies, and while I was down there, I went back on the committee of my granddad's football club that he founded when he was alive. And we were in the committee meeting, and then they were like, oh, there's a referee course coming up. And everyone sort of like had a laugh and a joke. Said like, oh, you should sign up for it, Amy. And I was like, yeah, you know what, I will. And I'll prove you all wrong. And they were like, oh, you'll never do it. And I did it, and I actually scored 100% in my exam. And there was 3 other guys on the course that had to redo the exam because they didn't pass. So I was pretty chuffed by that.
Oh, wow. Fantastic. And it gives you a real insight into actual playing the game. It's all very easy for us to be sat here on the sidelines, but when you're really getting involved, you understand it even more. Amy, it's been so good to talk to you. Just before you go, let us know how we can find you on social media if we don't know already, please.
So all of my social media is at That Sports Spice, and I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat.
Fantastic. The only way you should be, absolutely everywhere. Amy Christophers, sports broadcaster, thank you so much for being on Sportuccino.
No, thank you for having me, Richard. Thank you.